I think the future of AI and how that's going to influence work is not necessarily about automation. It's not about repetitive things. I think it's more about the creativity,
Mm-hmm.
finding creative solutions to problems. This unstructured data that's sitting in so many places where people are not making use of it can now be tapped for other potential opportunities and things that you couldn't see before. And AI will certainly play a role in that. I do believe that.
Get ready to meet Emil, the dynamic force behind ETEC 7 and AI Autopilot. Hailing from the bustling streets of Manhattan and with roots in Uzbekistan, Emil's journey from an economics student at Baruch College to a tech innovator is nothing short of inspiring. Join us as we dive into how he's revolutionizing ticketing automation for MSPs with cutting-edge AI technology and what his vision is for how AI's role amongst MSPs is only going to grow. Folks, you do not want to miss this. Abracadabra, let the magic happen. But first, before we go any further, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. My name is Madhur Duggar, and this podcast, 1983, is all about getting the stories of immigrant founders in the US to your doorsteps. If you have feedback or are an immigrant founder yourself who would like to do a podcast with me, write to me at podcastwithmadhur, that's MADHUR, @gmail.com, or reach out to me on LinkedIn. So, Emil, tell us a little bit about AI Autopilot and what are you doing with it today and what is your vision for it?
Hi, Madhur. Thank you for that. So AI Autopilot is a ticketing automation platform built with AI first. Our goal is to automate the ticket triage and ticket dispatching system for MSPs. We're also introducing AI assistants in the platform, which allows people to use AI in order to help them to create tickets and troubleshoot issues. We are building a modern platform for MSPs to automate their ticketing, and we're using AI to do it.
Okay. And from what I understand, Emil, like one thing that is really cool is you also have an MSP yourself. Like I think ETEC 7 is your MSP. How are you using your MSP as a way to, make AI Autopilot better?
So we do have an MSP, ETEC 7, and we have basically a testing ground where we've tested all the different possibilities, and we're using it internally to automate ticket triage and automate dispatching. It helps us understand what works and what doesn't, and it really saves us time in order to bring new features to the market based on our own needs. Everything that we've built was born out of necessity, which is usually something that leads to a good platform or a good product.
And so now, are you looking to sort of partner with other MSPs in order to kind of like work with them to continue to like develop the product, or what is the business thought there?
So the business thought is to work with other MSPs to give them the same tools that we now have to automate the ticket triage process and the dispatching process. We want to bring the benefits of AI and large language models to IT companies to assist their users, to assist their technicians, and to assist their customers. Our goal is really to provide this technology for MSPs and automate.
Yeah. So that's a great lead in actually, because you almost read through my what was going to be my next question is, what are the different areas in the world of an MSP that AI can play a role in making making their business more efficient, more profits?
So that's an interesting it's an interesting question because the more we're doing in this platform and in AI, and the more we're learning, the more we realize how many different areas that AI can touch upon in our business in an MSP. So the ones that come to mind the most would be like the business process automation, like what we've done is the ticket categorization, ticket prioritization, and then the chat bots or AI assistants that can really help a user describe their issue and a technician to troubleshoot their issue. But then we have things like cybersecurity, where you can analyze lots of the data that comes in from the logs and all of the information that flows with the alerts. And instead of a person sitting looking through them, you could have an AI assistant review all of these things and give you actionable steps on what to do next.
Yeah.
Also, what I was thinking is, let's say a business owner wants to do a cybersecurity assessment. You can have an AI assistant that gives you that assessment. And that's one of the things that we've also done. And then another
Interesting.
thing is things like training, technicians, security awareness training for your users. It could be like a dynamic training system that could help you. I think so around those areas with training,
Mhm.
instructions, conversations with clients and prospects, and data analysis for security, network, and other business processes.
Of the areas that you've identified where AI can assist with MSP automation, what do you think is the current state of usage and tool development?
I think it's just beginning because there wasn't a lot of activity around AI before the release of ChatGPT. And since then, a lot of people are trying to introduce it into their products. And I think we're going to be seeing two types of tools or platforms that are going to be coming out. One is based on, the foundational AI, and then the other one is using AI to improve your existing product by automating and by introducing the degree of reasoning and intelligence into it. I think that's what a lot of people are doing right now. There are some players that are working on ticketing automation. There are a lot of people making investments into cybersecurity and data
Mhm.
analysis. And I think right now is just the beginning. We have a lot of opportunities that everybody can explore over the next few years.
And where do you think is the real jump ahead, where you begin to use AI and really begin to see the richness of that technology?
So I do agree with you, Madhur. I think it's a astute observation. I think the future of AI and how that's going to influence work is not necessarily about automation. It's not about repetitive things. I think it's more about the creativity, finding
Hmm.
creative solutions to problems, using AI to present information across different fields, connecting many different systems together, and then bringing reasoning and analysis to those systems.
Hmm.
I think cybersecurity threats are a big one because with AI, cybersecurity attacks and the threats themselves are now more sophisticated. So I think you're going
Hmm.
to need more sophisticated systems to respond to those threats.
Hmm.
And a lot of people who are bringing those important capabilities and thinking outside the box, I think that's
Hmm.
going to be the next wave of
Yeah.
innovation in the space.
So, to me, AI really, where it really kicks in this area is basically thinking of it as an incredible tool to look at unstructured data. Language is unstructured data, right?
Right.
And I think that the moment you think about how dense unstructured data is, and we realize that most of the time we just end up looking at it through fields and rows and columns, but now you open up the whole box and say, I can look at all of this unstructured data using it. The real power of the tool becomes revealed, and then you realize it's automation is just like one piece of it. It's the richness of the information that it's extracting that's so powerful. And you guys are really putting this in front and center in your tool and how you're thinking about developing the tool, right? That's what makes it really so different from what's out there in the marketplace.
Agreed. So I think data is the currency of AI, and I think of today's technology. The more data you have, the more information you can gather, and then the more you can make of it. This unstructured data that's sitting in so many places where people are not making use of it can now be tapped for other potential opportunities and things that you couldn't see before. And AI will certainly play a role in that. I do believe that. I also think the speed at which it can do that is a really important
Yeah.
factor. Not just that it can do it intelligently, but that it can do it faster than what we have now, traditionally speaking, with teams and people. It
Yeah.
takes time to really glean that information, and
Yeah.
that time to get things done is really important in business. I also think that when the foundational models and the AI hardware and infrastructure improves, I think we'll see a better usage of the tools, and
Hmm.
more will come to light on how we can use AI as it improves. That in itself is going to improve, and then as other different innovators and developers come together to produce more and take more out of this technology, we'll be able to see
Hmm.
the benefits over time. So I think we
Yeah.
are in the beginning stages, and I look forward to seeing how everything
Yeah. Yeah. And as with every technology, those people who are able to get ahead of the curve and do their outreach and develop their models faster will have an advantage over the rest of the field, which probably they will be able to sustain, hopefully, and continue to maintain that edge. So you guys are
yeah,
right at the edge of this. Yeah.
Yeah, that first mover advantage is really
Hmm.
important. I agree.
Hmm.
I also think, that's noteworthy to mention. There's a concept that's called abstraction, and abstraction is really working on the most outer layer of development. So, like, if you think about it, you wouldn't be able to have Facebook without internet, and you wouldn't be able to have Microsoft without a physical computer. So whenever somebody creates a new technology, then you can take advantage of the opportunities that it affords. So the smartphone, the internet, the computer, all these different things created new industries. So abstraction is working at the most outer layer to basically go into untapped potential, the deep blue sea, and
Yeah.
AI represents this potential at this moment.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. It's a completely new technology which will open up a whole new set of possibilities, right? Which we probably don't even fully understand or envision right now.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, let's switch a little bit. Tracks. I always found your background really interesting, Emil. In fact, that's how we connected when we did connect. You actually come with if I look at your educational background, you've got a BBA in economics from Baruch, but here you are like knee deep in some of the most technical things, even with not just with AI automation, but also with ETEC 7. Has technology and IT always been a passion for you? How did you get into this space?
It has. It's a great question. I was always passionate about technology and innovation. It's what drives me. I was in Baruch for business because I wanted to actually go to law school. So I wanted to get a business degree, which didn't matter. I was studying economics, and then I actually decided to switch over to IT because I already had some clients in IT while I was in Baruch who were paying me to support their networks and their
Okay.
environments. And I figured I should follow my passion and get involved in what I really want to pursue. My goal in really developing new technologies, and I think that's what brought me here.
Yeah. Let's go back even further. Emil, you grew up in Manhattan, right? You spent most of your life, if not almost all of your life, in Manhattan. But you are from Uzbekistan originally. You were born there.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, and then what brought you here? What were your parents over here?
So at that time, the Soviet Union collapsed or was collapsing, and a lot of the Jewish Bukharian people were moving out of Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, and they some decided to move to Israel, some decided to move to America, and my family brought me here for a better life and more opportunities.
Yeah, and we know this in America because we see people starting lives in America who were born somewhere else all the time. In fact, that's what this show is about. This podcast show, 1983. I always feel that there is just this extra gear of hunger and drive and hustle, for someone who starts their life here. And what better place than to be in Manhattan to do that, right? So you're very tied into the Manhattan community, and you're in your community as well as the Manhattan sort of ecosystem. Is that fair?
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I've been here. I went to high school here, Talent Unlimited High School.
Yeah.
I went to Baruch here, and I've been working there for about 14, 15 years. So most of my adult life has been spent coming to Manhattan for the bigger part of.
Yeah, and the client base that you have at ETEC 7, is it a New York area based client base, a Manhattan based client base? Is it reflective of the economy over here?
It is. It's mostly New York City with the 5 boroughs, predominantly in Queens and Manhattan, and I would say it's very tied to the area.
I know, Emil. I know you and I have broken bread together. We've spent time with your family together. I know you're a person who is very deeply connected to his faith as well. What is something from your faith that guides you on an everyday basis? I know you've shared this with me, but share it with our listeners.
Sure. So we mentioned that God created the world with speech. That was the language of creation. The vehicle for creation, rather, and I think that AI presents an opportunity to do the same thing. Today we can create essays and articles and anything you want with a prompt, with a simple prompt. You can just do the same thing with videos and pictures. And the opportunity that I think awaits us is that we can be able to do almost anything with speech with a simple prompt, and that connects back to the wisdom of how God created the world using speech. And I think that that's a beautiful way to unite my faith with what I'm doing.
Yeah, because I think you were saying that in your faith there is a saying which says that you work through your speech, or speech creates work. I think it's along those lines, right? Yeah.
When we say ABRA Ca DABRA, that means I create as I speak.
And what an incredible thing to say, because I mean, in the AI space with generative Gen AI, I mean, that is literally how work is going to start happening, it's through speech. So
Agreed.
very insightful for Faith to have said this so many hundreds of years ago, and I feel like now we're right back to that initial state. Emil, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and sharing a little bit about yourself and your business and your vision for the AI space. I really look forward to hearing from you in the future, staying in touch, and wish you all success with your business.
Thank you, Madhur. I wish you success as well. Pleasure speaking with you, and have a wonderful time.
Thank you so much, Mo. Thanks.
Take care. Bye.